All right, welcome to the Thanksgiving Marshall Tournament. Got the Sabers taking on the hometown team. Starting off, this is an interesting lineup. Okay, so Tochek, Knutson, who's 17? Telejohn, oh, Telejohn's back, good. Telejohn dumps it. Marshall retreats, plays it off the boards. Poked by Carlson, but kicked out of the zone. Heads out to Krisak, who dumps it in. Tochek battling for the puck on the near side boards. Marshall gets it, poked away by Knutson. Marshall skated up the ice and dumped it deep off the near side boards. Takes a bounce right in front of the net, retrieved by Carlson. Marshall changing, some room on the far side. Telejohn to Knutson. Tries to skip over the defender, but it was 1-on-5. Loses the puck. Good forecheck. Keeps it in the zone momentarily. McNee on the puck. Off the far side boards. That's going to go all the way down. Tap the side. Third. Kicked off the boards. McNee giving chase. Oh, nice centering pass. Just a little bit too far. Puck goes out to Audrey Smith, almost loses it, but oh. Looks like a Marshall penalty. Got a couple new players for Shakopee today. I see Mallory Gilland out there, or she was out there. Now she's back out. Saber power play. We've got Schuler, Knutson, Gillen, Smith, and Rampart. Rampart on the draw, loses it. Puck kicked up the boards, but kept in by Smith. Dumps it towards the net. Deflection. Killed the momentum of the puck and goes wide. Gillen hard on the puck. Schuler able to dump it back in the zone. Rampart plays it nicely off the boards. Kicks it back to Smith. Goes D to D. Schuler steps into it. Rebound comes out. Whoa. Rampart had a couple cracks at it, but goalie covered nicely. Get a partial change for the Sabres and face off on the near side. Just the D changes. We've got Carlson and Krisak in the game. That's Cam Krisak. Has the puck right now off the boards down to Gillen. She's going to skate it back up. Gives it to Krisak. Krisak loses the puck. Carlson quickly retreats and able to poke the puck away, regain possession for Shakopee. She's going to come through the neutral zone with it, carry it all the way into the zone. It gets poked away by Marshall D. Centering pass, nobody home. Shakopee was in the middle of a change. Nice pass right there. Anderson, yes, that's a goal. Anderson to Knutson. That was a nice little, I think, who was the other assist on that? I think it was Gillen. That was nicely done. Nicely passing. Took about a minute to get the power play on the board. Shakopee up 1-0. Knutson takes a digger, running through the high-five line, which is fantastic. Got a change on the ice. Huberty, Anderson, Luth, Carlson, and Krisak on the D. Face off one by Huberty. Goes to Krisak, plays it up the boards. Intercepted. Puck goes out through neutral ice. Anderson on it. Bouncing puck. Krisak steps up nicely. She's got plenty of space. She's going to drive hard towards the baseline. Loses the puck. It's going to come up the near side boards. Clearance goes right to Carlson, but Shakopee not able to get on the other end of it. Keep it in the zone, though. Krisak stepping in again. She's going to have a wrister. Goes far side. Sticks wide. Anderson runs it down. Keeps it off the boards to Huberty. She tries to backhand it to the net. Anderson gets in front of it, but backhand gets kicked out. Carlson retrieves. Tries to go back down to Anderson. Can't quite get there. Marshall can't clear. Huberty helps. They're going to go cross ice. Oh, Anderson gets a stick on it. But, oh, she's going to step into it. She's got a, oh, shot just goes wide. Luth was going for the deflection, couldn't get it though. Huberty retreats. Puck kicked down to the ice. Luth will get it. She goes back to Schuler. Rister gets intercepted. Up the boards by Marshall, intercepted by Schuler again. Got a high stick on Marshall. That'll bring play to a stop momentarily. Get a partial change for Shakopee. A couple of skaters were on the ice for quite a while there. 11 minutes left in the first period. 1-0 Shakopee. Out shooting Marshall 5-0. Telejohn taking the draw. She's out there with Knutson, Tocek, Schuler, and Smith. Well, a little bit of confusion on the drop. Telejohn wasn't even looking. Puck comes around the boards. Smith keeps it in. Knutson stopped the puck. Smith puts it back on the near side boards. Straight to Marshall and then straight back to Schuler. Ooh, nice shot. Oh, what are we doing? Goal is off the... Yeah, net came off. Knutson ran down that deflected puck nicely. Had a little backhand there, and during the process, the goalie kicked the net off. Face-off goes to the far side. Knutson's going to take it. Knutson, Telejohn, and Tocek up front. Marshall wins the draw, rings it around the boards. Schuler steps in hard. She's been very active early. Wrists it back in, get deflected out in front. Puck heading towards the front of the net. Took a funny hop. Knutson holds it in momentarily. Shakopee retreated quickly there. Back. Nicely done. That was making the dads right next to me a little nervous, that backhanded pass, but it got where it needed to go. Oh, skipped right over her stick. That's a terrible icing call, but that's fine. We'll get a full 5 skater change for Shakopee. We've got McNee, Gillen, Rampart, Krisak, and Carlson out there. Rampart wins the draw, goes back to Krisak. She'll go around the back of the net. It's on her backhand. Goes up the boards with it. McNee's got some space. Nice pass up to Gillen. She gets held up. She was looking for Rampart. Breaking towards the net. McNee back to Carlson, loses the puck. They're going to have to regroup here. Krisak plays it off the far side boards. Carlson retreats. Goes up the boards and McNee can't control. But, oh, that's an offsides call that I think replay would disagree with. Face-off will come out to the neutral zone, far side. Yeah. Same 5 skaters on the ice for Shakopee. Rampart on the draw. Rampart ties him up, wins the draw. Ref was in the way. McNee's stepping into it. Wrister right into the glove. That was a nice hard shot, but the goalie had good position and shot it right into the glove. Another shot for Shakopee, though. That's their 7th. Marshall has yet to get one. Marshall wins the draw. Try to kick it up the boards, but Gillen's there. Back goes behind the net. Centering pass gets intercepted. Kicked up the boards, but Krisak steps in, keep it in. Goes back around the net. McNee's on it. Rampart's looking for it. Can't clear. Krisak on the shot goes right into the shin guards. Kicked out to Carlson. That was kind of fortunate because Marshall had 3 skaters up there. That could have been a little bit of an odd man rush. Singular change for Shakopee. Anderson comes on the ice for McNee, I think. Carlson back to Krisak. Tries to go up the ice to Gillen, but intercepted. Through the neutral zone. Rampart able to cause some trouble. It's going to be icing. We've got 4 new skaters now. Schuler, Huberty, Smith, and Luth. Anderson stays on the ice. Draw won by Marshall, but Huberty steps in front of it. Puck goes weakly on net. Zoe Lewis able to deflect it wide. Pass up the boards. Anderson couldn't get a hold of it. It's going to go behind the nice centering pass. Lewis did well to get her stick on that one. Luth up to Anderson. Anderson will break wide. Puts on the brakes. Goes back to Smith, who goes back behind the net. Luth's going to have to... Huberty's chasing, my fault. Goes all the way around the boards. Schuler able to hold it in. Puck is being whacked at all over the place in the middle, but Huberty able to get it into the corner. Luth can't win the race to it, and Marshall's going to come out of there with it. Pass a little too far, and Smith is going to retreat and get it. Backhanded pass too deep. Schuler's going to have to retreat all the way behind her own net. She's got space. Anderson was inside, pass went outside. Schuler able to hold it on the boards. She's going to play it. Calling pretty tight icings today. Could have been played, but get a partial change for Shakopee. Telejohn, Krisak, Carlson, Tocek, and Knutson. Buck won Marshall's first shot of the game, kicked outside by Lewis. Buck comes out, chipped up by Tocek. Telejohn's got it. She gets run down, shot gets on goal, has a couple of rebound opportunities. Tocek runs it down in the corner, plays it back behind the net. Knutson puts the pressure on. It's going to go all the way around the boards. Telejohn, easy pass to Carlson, goes back to Knutson. Tries to drive through the middle of the net, but runs into too much traffic. Puck bounces back to Telejohn. Oh! It was like a Ephus pitch, almost snuck in there on the back post, but Shakopee manages to maintain possession. Tocek has a shot off the post on the far side, while her near side. I think the goalie was moving a little early on that one. Shakopee doing a great job holding the puck in. Of course, as soon as I say that, it gets blocked out. Krisak will skate it in. Shakopee clears the zone. All the way through the middle of the ice, Krisak goes. Shot misses wide and then kicks behind the net. The wraparound, Gillen came into the slot with some speed but couldn't get a shot off. Carlson pinching, McNee putting pressure on. Puck hard off the boards. Back into the... Carlson comes out of there with it. Gets tied up on the far side. McNee manages to get the puck down momentarily to Gillen. Oh! Centering pass got deflected in by the Marshall defender. That's unfortunate, but we'll take the goal. McNee will get the credit for that one. Marshall defender poked the puck in right 5-hole, down the 5-hole. 2-0 Shakopee. 9-1 shot advantage. 5:43 left in the first. Rampart, Gillen, McNee, Smith, and Schuler out there. Smith gets it up the far side boards to McNee, who loses it. Marshall runs into Gillen with the puck. Going to skate it back around their own net. Far side boards. Shakopee is able to hold it in momentarily. Puck getting kicked down the far side boards, gets pulled out of there and dumped finally. They did not waive the icing, so they're calling it both ways. Shakopee will change the forwards. Huberty, Luth, and Anderson on the ice with Smith and Schuler playing D. Puck ends up behind the Marshall net. Luth is the first one to it. Up the boards, Smith holds it in with a skate. Anderson trying to help her out. Poked back into the zone. chipped up the boards. Oh, nice cross-ice path. Luth has some space, but she's going to get closed down pretty quick. Tries to go around the back of the net. He didn't have a lot of juice on that pass. The clearing pass up the boards. Smith's able to get in front of it. Anderson backhands it. Luth manages to get on the end of it. She's going to give it back to Schuler. Shoots it. It's going to go wide, pop out the far side. Anderson's on the puck. Backhands it through the middle of the ice, but intercepted. Smith holds the puck in nicely. Anderson pokes it, ends up on a Marshall stick. Marshall finally able to backhand it clear. It's going to go down the ice. That one's going to get waved. That was more of an icing than the last one. Schuler gets there, but good pressure by Marshall forces Luth able to almost clear. Smith gets it clear. She was trying to get a cross-ice pass to Anderson. It hit a skate. Shakopee in the middle of a change. Tocek and Knutson on the ice. Marshall trying to go right through the middle. Anderson putting good pressure on. Weak backhand, and Smith's going to be able to skate that out. Well, loses the puck, and then manages to find Knutson, who comes in with some speed, loses the puck, but manages to dump it deep. Telejohn on the puck. Puck comes up the board. Carlson tries to kick it in. Marshall's got a one-on-one. Chrisak's back there. That wrister's going to go wide. Going to end up on the far side boards. Telejohn loses control of it. Puck deflected. Marshall had a decent shot opportunity there, but deflected over the net. Still have it in the zone. Sorry, I mean your shot. Telejohn can't get it clear. Kick save. Oh, backhanded rebound shot goes wide. Shakopee got a little lucky there. There's it. Whoa, scrum in front. Shakopee not able to get the puck clear. Wrister gets deflected wide by Carlson. She's going to chip it up the boards. Tocek still can't get it out of the zone. Wrister's going to go out off the boards and out the far side, centering pass, nobody home. Shakopee just cannot get the ball out, or the puck out of the zone. Still in the zone. Marshall's changing. Carlson's going to skate it out. Will finally get it out of the zone, and she's gonna ice it. It was a good flurry by Marshall, but goaltending was up to the challenge there. Got Rampart, McNee, Schuler, Gilland, and Smith on the ice. Rampart taking the draw. See if that little flurry gives Marshall pep in their step. Shakopee wins the face-off, goes up the near side boards, but held in by Marshall. Try the centering pass, but Shakopee first to the puck, but gets deflected back in. Rebound is just loose out front. McNee comes out of there with it, backhands it right through the middle of the ice. Nicely done by Rampart. She just powered through defender's stick there. She's going to backhand it. Went for Gillen. She couldn't get it off her backhand. She goes behind the net. Oh, puck. That was a nice backhanded centering pass. I think that was either McNee or Gillen. Rampart had a nice shot, but goalie was in the right spot and managed to hold on to it. Faceoff's going to go to the far side, get a defensive change. Carlson and Krisak. I haven't seen Chloe Krisak today. She's hurt, I'm told. Held in by Carlson. McNee chipped up the boards, and Carlson's going to hold it in again. Marshall gets off a skate, and they've got a 2-on-1 here. Centering pass is a little hard. Rampart comes back with speed. Get a hold of the puck. She's going to go up the boards to McNee. Can't hold on to it. Can't clear. Puck takes a funny bounce off a skate, but harmlessly into the corner. Krisak and Rampart back there. Carlson gets the puck as it kicks loose. Tries to skate it out and runs into a Marshall's stick. Puck is still in the zone. McNee able to clear. Rampart all by herself. And she shelves it. Absolutely beautiful. Rampart all by herself. Top shelf. Went high on the glove side over the shoulder, I think. Marshall defender had the ball bounce off her, or the puck bounce off her stick right to Rampart. That was a good finish. Huberty, Anderson, Luth, Carlson, and Krisak. Huberty ties up the face-off, ends up winning it. Goes back to Carlson, up to Luth. He's on the near side boards. Marshall gets control of the puck. It's going to go back behind the net. Anderson giving chase. But puck's going to kick out, and time running out. Marshall takes a empty wrister that trickles harmlessly. So after the end of 1, 3-0, Shakopee. Great period for the Sabers. Outshot them 11-4. Got a power play goal to open the scoring. Got a partially own goal assisted for the second one, and then that Rampart breakaway is the third one. Marshall had a couple of decent flurries there. All right, back and ready for the second period. Change of direction. Sabres are going to be going right to left. We've got Telejon, Tocek, and Knutson on the ice with Carlson and Krisak. Tocek comes out of there with the puck, tries to backhand it deep in the zone, but gets held up by Marshall. They try to clear up the boards. Carlson runs it back. Backhand gets up to Krisak. She goes for Knutson, but can't make the connection. Puck getting kicked around the neutral zone a little bit. Chipped in by Tocek. Marshall's going to retreat and get it. Chipped out. Cross ice pass from Krisak ends up going right to one of the Marshall skaters. What is Marshall's mascot? Do you know?
Tigers.
The Tigers? Okay. I'll call them the Tigers now instead of Marshall. Puck dumped in relatively harmlessly, gets frozen for a face-off. Going to get a 5 skater change. Yeah, we're going with the Tigers. Oh, yeah, smart. Rampart wins the draw, kicks it back to Smith. She tries to go cross ice, but intercepted by a Marshall Tiger. Comes out to McNee. She had Gilland. Couldn't get the pass there. Rampart's going to come out of there with it. She lays it back. Oh, nice pass. And McNee finishes. That was a really, really nice pass. Rampart dropped it back to Gilland, who went cross ice. McNee was all by herself. Shelved it high on the glove side. That's the second goal that went in that spot, but really good finish. That's her second of the game. she got credit for the one that deflected off the Marshall defender in the first period. Same 5 skaters stay on the ice. 4-0 Shakopee. Smith comes off the face-off with the puck, lays it back to to Schuler. Schuler gets the puck clear. Cross-ice pass is going to be chased down first by a Marshall Tiger, but managed to get held in the zone. Rampart with a tough shot. Hits the pads, backhand from McNee. Nobody home. Puck bouncing out. Smith was able to keep it in the zone. Marshall trying to clear. Hits a Sabers skate on the far side. Gillen skate. Rampart in there digging. She goes back to Schuler. Rister gets shin padded down by one of their defenders. Nice pass again from Gillen to McNee. She almost got the hat trick right there. Backhand by Schuler gets controlled by the Marshall Tiger. She's going to dump it deep. Takes a awkward bounce right into the crease. Schuler goes quickly back up the ice. And another goal. That was Schuler to McNee to Gillen that time. So they switched it up. And another goal for Shakopee. That's a 5-0 lead right now. Really good puck movement by the Sabres today. It's given them some good opportunities. It's a quick transition through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Carlson, Luth, and Anderson, and Krisak and Carlson. I'm sorry, Huberty on the draw. Ooh, Krisak with a hard wrister. Tried to go 5-hole. Centering pass gets sticked out. Carlson's going to step into it. Shot gets blocked. Pass too hot to handle. It's going to go all the way down behind the Shakopee goal. Centering pass. Puck skated out by Huberty. She's got Anderson with her and Luth trailing. Ooh. Not sure if that was a shot or a centering pass, but it hit the goalie's pad, kicked out front. Shakopee able to hold in the zone. Marshall controls the puck on the far side boards. They're going to skate it out. Puck chipped deep. Marshall's going to change. That's going to be a trip or a hook. So Shakopee's going to go back on the power play. 11:41 left in the second. Second power play of the game. Sabres scored on their first one. Power play lineup is Tocek, Knudsen, Telejohn, Smith, and Schuler. Knudsen on the draw. Puck took a crazy bounce into the corner. Pops out to Smith. Ooh. Had a quick opportunity for a wrister, but Marshall defender got in the way. Nice shot. Knudsen couldn't get on the end of it. Shakopee able to hold it, control it in the zone. Tocek to Knudsen, who whiffs, steps into it, get a better angle, high and outside. Puck goes around the boards to Schuler. She goes back to Smith, who goes back to Schuler, stepping into it. Wrister goes wide. Knudsen able to hold it in. Wraparound backhand, that was a nice shot. She got a lot more on that than I would have expected. Still held in the zone by Shakopee. Tocek steps into a wrister, gets sticked aside. Puck goes into the corner again. Rung around the boards. And I think we have another penalty on... Oh, they got Knudsen on the retaliation for roughing. So we're going to have 4-on-4 skating for 1 minute and 7 seconds, and then Marshall will get their first power play of the game. Skaters for Shakopee, Gillen, Rampart, Smith, and Schuler. Face-off tied up by Rampart, ends up being controlled by Shakopee. Gillen comes out of there with it, loses it. Smith coming through the neutral zone. She's going to bring it in. Goes to her backhand on the far side, then lays it back. Rampart with plenty of space. Goes to Schuler, who gets closed down, loses an edge. Puck able to be held in by Smith. Goes on the far side boards. Gillen and Rampart over there again. Rampart will chip it deep. Nobody chasing the puck there for the Sabres, but Smith in the right spot, able to stick it down. Tries a centering pass that gets intercepted. Schuler's going to step into one. Gets blocked, but she recovers nicely. Puts it off the far side boards. It goes to Gillen. She steps into the zone. Looked like she might have been offsides to me, like Rampart might have been offsides. She's dangling left and right. Can't quite get a shot off, though. That's kicked all the way down. That'll be icing. That will almost end the 4-on-4 skating. 2 seconds left before Marshall goes on the penalty. We've got Huberty, McNee, Krisak, and Carlson. 9:43 left in the second. 5-0 lead for the Sabres. Face-off won by the Sabres. Krisak stepped into it, tried a wrister. Marshall Tiger came out of the box, but they couldn't control the puck to get it up to her because Huberty is banging away in the offensive zone. She's all by herself, tied up with 2 Tigers. She's still battling. Great work. Faith doing fantastic work. Almost held in the zone by McNee. She ends up losing it. Marshall just pokes it forward. Carlson's going to retreat and put the brakes on, hold on to the puck. She's going to go out to McNee, who tries the backhand redirect. Marshall Tiger took a hard fall. I think their locals wanted a penalty, but nothing there. Puck goes off the far side boards. Marshall first to it, but Krisak able to get her stick into it. She's gonna take it herself right down the slot. Wrister goes wide. Knutson came off the ice and wanted the pass, or out of the penalty box, but so we're back to 5-on-5. Shakopee kills the minute-long penalty. Knutson coming out of the defensive zone with the puck. She's got some speed. Anderson's up there with her. They're gonna. Oh, puck deflected into the corner, held in by Smith, steps into it. Puck held in. Anderson, it's going to be high stick. Shakopee will change the forwards, so Telejohn, Knutson, and Tocek on the ice. High stick will bring the face-off back into the Shakopee defensive zone. Marshall wins the draw. Puck's being kicked around in the middle of the ice, pops out. Smith goes up the boards with it. Telejohn first to it. She's able to control it through the neutral zone. Backhanded pass, a little bit behind Tocek, but good vision. Cross-ice pass is too far for anybody. Smith is going to step into it. She'll put it down the boards. Controlled in the defensive zone there by Marshall. Poke checked away by Tocek. Nicely done. Can't hold on to it. Shakopee through the neutral zone has been giving Marshall all sorts of trouble today. They end up ringing the puck. God, I keep saying ball today. Ringing the puck all the way around the boards, but Schuler able to get it out. Tocek on it, chips it deep. She's going to change. We're going to go for a 5-skater change for Shakopee. Rampart, McNee, Carlson, and Krisak, and then Gillen was the last one off the bench. McNee managed to hold the puck up, prevent a scoring opportunity. Ends up going far side to Gillen. Loses control of it coming into the offensive zone. Pass goes through the neutral zone. It's going to go down for icing. 6:32 left in the second. Still 5-0 Shakopee. Puck's going to come back down into the offensive zone. Rampart will take the draw. Gillen to her right. McNee to her left. Krisak and Carlson behind her at the defensive spots. Rampart does a good job powering through. Oh, redirect on the shot from Krisak. Goes into the corner. McNee back to Carlson. She's going to step into it. Nice pass. Centering pass right out in front. Rampart couldn't get a clean stick on it. This line has had good vision today. Puck finally tipped out. Marshall's going to get a 1-on-0. Shot goes high and wide. Lewis had good position. Shakopee hustled back. Maybe put a little pressure on her from behind. Puck stuck on the near side boards. Rampart clears. Cross ice pass going to go off the far side boards. Not able to be controlled. Carlson steps into it. She's got some speed. She's got Rampart with her. Nice cross ice pass. And there's another goal. Carlson to Gilland. Shakopee having a ton of success with the cross ice pass. Marshall's getting sucked all into one side of the ice. Gillen with the goal, Rampart and Carlson, I believe, with the assist. Shakopee will change all 5 skaters. Huberty, Anderson, Luth, Schuler, and Smith. 5:28 left, 6-0. Puck 1 back to Schuler. Chips it down the far side boards. Luth put great pressure on. Puck held in by Schuler. Wrister deflected. Held in by Huberty. Goes behind the net. Anderson and Luth putting pressure on. Luth plays it back. Anderson's going to get there first. Loses the puck. Huberty covers it well. Puck stays in the zone. Goes back to Anderson, who chips it down the boards. Huberty's going to be first to it. Goes back around the net. Now Luth is there. She's going to try to center it. Oh, good idea. Couldn't get through to Huberty. It's going to go back far side to Anderson. She's going to go back to Schuler. Goes back to Anderson. Centering pass hit a skate out in front. I don't think Luth saw it. Smith with a really nice defensive positioning, able to hold it, stop the Tigers in the neutral zone. Puck comes back through the neutral zone. Smith will play it up the boards. Marshall semi gets control of it. Offsides, and we will get a change and the face-off coming out to the neutral zone. 4:15 left in the second. Tocek, Knutson, Telejohn back in the game. Defense will stay the same for Shakopee. Knutson on the draw. Knutson tied her up. Tocek found the puck, but ends up in the Shakopee defensive zone, and Marshall's got control of it. Tries to cut inside. Puck gets tipped out and controlled by Knutson. She's going to go wide near side. She tries to go past 2 defenders, but able to be poked aside. Smith tries to hold it in, hits Knutson, I think, in the shin guards. Krisak tries to go up the boards. Marshall poke check. Smith nicely done. That Knutson's going to win the race to that puck. Chips it around the defender. Goes off the back of the net. She's still on the puck. Backhands it back. Krisak gets the wrister off but gets intercepted. Puck chipped out. McNee back checking well, as is Krisak. And Carlson's going to come out of there with the puck.
Go with her! Go with her! Go with her!
Carlson's got some speed but puts on the brakes. She's going to go cross ice to Gillen. She'll go deep to Knutson. Puck goes all the way through to Krisak. Deflects wide. Pops out front, and Shakopee scores again. Knutson to Gillen. Shot from out front was Krisak. and that is number 7 for the Sabers. One of the varsity girls threw a hat on the ice. Got McNee, Gilland, and Rampart on the ice now with Carlson and Krisak. Marshall controlling the puck behind the Shakopee net. Wrister from the blue line easily gloved by Lewis, and she'll hold on. And we'll get Schuler and Smith changing out the D. Face off to the far side circle. Rampart will take the draw. She controls. Schuler goes behind the net, puts on the brakes, back around the boards. Gillen's going to get there. She's got McNee coming through the middle. Pass goes off her foot, but McNee able to control it. Tries to go stick side shoulder. Goalie managed to get a shoulder on it, but McNee's still on the puck behind the net. Finally loses it. Gets pushed up the boards, but Smith's going to hold it in. Goes all the way back to McNee. Able to get it to Rampart, who pops out front. Has a decent shot. Goalie able to pat it down and cover. Sabres had a couple of whacks at the rebound, but couldn't convert that one. Going to get a 3 forward change. Huberty, Luth, and Anderson into the game. Smith and Schuler will stay. Huberty on the draw. Going backhand, misses the puck, but it bounces right to Anderson, who goes to Luth, and Luth ends up putting it in the net. Abby Luth with, I want to say her second or third goal of the season, off a rebound from an Anderson shot off the face-off win by Huberty. So that is number 8 from Shakopee. 1:46 left in the second still. Oh, Shakopee putting some pressure on. Anderson controls the puck. Tries to cut inside, but Marshall able to cut it out. Puck comes out. Anderson back on the puck. Back into the zone. Can't control the puck. It bounces into the corner. Puts the brakes on, but Marshall able to poke it away. Try to come up. Anderson comes out of there with the puck. Tries to go to Schuler, who manages to backhand it down into the corner. Puck comes back to Schuler. Wrister gets deflected, I think, partially, just wide. Luth has plenty of space. Goes cross ice to Schuler. 1 minute remaining, if you heard the PA guy. Marshall momentarily had a numbers advantage coming into the ice. Coming around the net. Anderson comes out of there with it. She's going to go 1-on-2. Poke check through the neutral zone. Loses the puck. Schuler tried to clear it, hit a shin guard, and bounced deep into the zone. Carlson off the bench with all sorts of speed. Huberty chips it up the ice. Huberty and Anderson have been on the ice for a while. Luth has too, actually. Probably need a change. Second period changes can get kind of tricky for Sabres. Puck behind the net. Anderson pokes it out to Schuler. 13 seconds left. Can't get it clear. Don't want to give up a goal in the last 10 seconds here. Bounces near side. Shot hits a skate. Cleared almost out. Anderson tips the pass. Managed to survive. 8-0 after 2. Sabres out shooting the Tigers 25-7, and we will take a Zamboni break. We'll see you back in a couple of minutes for the third. All right, start of the third period, 8-0 Sabers. Maybe in running time, Anderson into the zone with the puck. Just going to chip it deep. Huberty giving chase. Ties the puck up behind the net. Back to Anderson, who holds it in momentarily, as does Smith. Pops out, Schuler's going to get it. Cross-ice pass goes to Luth. She's got, lost the puck. Had some space. Back to Schuler, to Anderson, who can't hold it. Up the far boards by Marshall, then chipped back up by Smith. She's going to go cross-ice to Schuler, just out of her reach, but she'll chase it down, go up the boards to Luth. Puck is going to be chopped down into the far corner by Marshall. They'll go for a full change. Breakout pass goes all the way through the Shakopee skaters and back out into the neutral zone for Marshall. Shakopee's going to change. Rampart on the ice. Telejon and Tochek. Nice pass there by Marshall. Able to come into the zone with some speed, but Krisak able to put a stop to that. Puck comes around the far side. Smith tried to go back behind her net. It ends up going to a Marshall Tiger. Spins, goes for the centering pass, can't get there. Telejon wraps it around the boards for Tochek. She loses control of the puck momentarily, but pops out to Rampart, who chips it ahead for Telejon. She had to put on the brakes or she was going to be offsides, and that allowed the Marshall defender to go back and get the puck. They can't break it out. Tochek holds it in. Telejon causing some problems. Finally get it out, but Rampart closes down the space in the neutral zone. She goes cross-ice to Carlson. She's going to go into the zone, gets tripped, and that'll get called. We are in running time in the third period, so this one's going to go fast. Shakopee's going to be on a very short penalty, probably. 2 minutes. That was a tripping call as Carlson entered the offensive zone. We've got Huberty, Knutson, McNee, Krisak, and Carlson. Puck controlled off the faceoff. Carlson wristed it in. Huberty passed to the backside to Knutson. Goalie made a nice save on it. She tries to spin into the slot, but defense was there waiting for her. Carlson brings it back out, and then Krisak dumps it in. Huberty and Knutson on the forecheck, able to prevent the exit by Marshall. Huberty controls over to Carlson. She goes deep to Knutson, holds onto it, tries to go cross-ice to McNee. That worked a couple times in the second period. Puck ends up hitting a skate and a stick and popping out. Carlson retreats to get it. She'll go up to Knutson, who tried to go center it to Huberty. Carlson controls the puck all the way around the net. Goes back to McNee, playing defense. She tried to get it to Huberty. Took a funny bounce and popped out of there. Knutson had a shot. She's backhanded shot, goes wide. McNee back to Carlson. Down to McNee. Tries to hit Huberty coming down the middle. Marshall still can't clear. That's Jetta Barrick. She's played in the varsity game. She'll popped into the game for just the third period. That's the 4-period rule. She'll stay on the ice. Penalty is going to expire while we're getting the face-off set up. Rampart, Anderson, Luth, Barrick, and Smith. Rampart on the draw, ties it up. Anderson giving chase. Puck goes right out in front of the net. Anderson will run it down. She'll go back to Smith. Smith dumps it deep. Puck kicks behind the net. Luth can't run it down. Marshall comes out of there with it. They'll clear it up the boards. It bounced over Barrick's stick, but they'll call icing, and Shakopee will come back down in the offensive zone. 10 minutes left in the third period. Still 8-0. Shakopee out shooting the Tigers 28-7. So been a pretty dominating couple of periods for the Sabers. Rampart on the draw. Ties it up. Anderson goes and gets it back to Barrick, who takes it to Smith. Wrister kicked aside, I think, by the goalie. Marshall unable to clear. Smith able to hold it in momentarily, but Marshall eventually got out of there. Smith did a nice job. Barrick went up the boards. Rampart was able to block a Marshall attempt to dump it in. Ooh, backhanded pass by Luth. Just a little bit too far for Anderson. Wrister is going to get kicked behind the net. Rampart giving chase. Anderson also giving chase, but puck pops out to the Marshall skater. Anderson able to close it down quickly. Wheels, spins into the slot. Just going to dump it into the corner. Goes and fetches it herself. Puts the brakes on, tries to change direction. Still on the puck. Changing direction again. She pops out of there. She's got some space. Goes back to Krisak. A lot of traffic in front. Wrister goes wide. Schuler tries to hold it in. Puck went through her legs. She got tied up with the Tiger. Krisak's got some space. She's going to carry it into the zone herself. Not to be able to change the forwards. Tocek, Telejohn back in the game, along with Huberty. Marshall wheeling. They're going to finally escape, just barely. Huberty was trying to get out, and Telejohn was trying to get in, and just one step off. So face-off will come out to neutral, down to 8 minutes. Huberty on the draw. Marshall wins the draw, but it's going to go all the way down to the near side corner. Puck rung around the boards, and Telejohn able to give chase and tie it up. Poked out of there. Carlson unable to hold it in. It's tied up on the far side boards. Telejohn comes out of there with it. Shields the puck nicely. Tries to lay it back for Tocek, and she fanned. Puck goes out through neutral zone. Huberty ties it up. Barrick retreats. Cross-ice pass gets held up right at the blue line. She was looking for Telejohn. Marshall holds it in the zone. Tocek causing all sorts of problems. Huberty can't break it out. This shot gets kicked aside by Carlson. Barrick comes out of there with it. She's going to take it herself. She's got good speed. Goes wide. Shot goes high and wide. Clearance for Marshall. Unable to get out of the zone. McNee and Rampart were able to hold it in. Knutson also on the ice, along with Barrick and Carlson. Marshall breaking out now. Knutson giving chase. Try to dump it deep, but Carlson's going to intercept it before it goes too deep. She'll go up to McNee, tries to kick it. Back end to Carlson. She wheels. She's going to go far side to Knutson. Tries to go through the middle. That was offsides. Took him a minute to call it. Six minutes left. Defensive change for Shakopee. Rampart will take the draw, along with McNee and Knutson. Marshall wins. Puck hit off the boards, collected by Smith over to Schuler. Tries to go up to Knutson, but puck got tied up. Rampart comes out of there with it. Through the neutral zone, Marshall able to control. They'll bring it into the zone. Close down quickly. Puck bounces out kind of towards the front of the goal before Schuler ran it down. Rampart's going to come out of there with it. She's got speed. She's got McNee and Knutson with her. Goes right through the Marshall defense. Shot goes off a shoulder pad, or off the goalie's shoulder pad. Far side boards, gets held up. Smith's going to dump it around. Nobody down there for Shakopee, so Marshall's able to clear. Puberty comes on for Rampart and immediately puts a stop to that. Puck is partially controlled by Schuler. She runs into her own player. Centering pass to Puberty deflects. Marshall will dump it deep. Schuler back to collect. She goes around back of the net, and Puberty comes out of there with some space. Now Luth. She's going to put the puck actually on net. Anderson, good hustle down there. Goalie barely covered it. 4:20 left. We'll get a face-off in the offensive zone. Krisak, Carlson, Huberty, Luth, and Anderson. Marshall wins the draw. Go around the far side boards. Anderson trying to close in. Gets there. Able to hold it in, dump it back, but nice stick by Marshall. Puck trickles out. And bring it into the zone. Bad angle shot. Rebound popped out momentarily before it was cleared. Krisak out through center ice. Puck gets tied up. Rampart off the bench. Folks falling like bowling pins momentarily. Carlson breaks out of there with it. She goes to Tocek, who does a Maradona soccer move with her skates. Wrister goes wide, sticked wide by the goalie. Rampart holds it in. Telejohn's in the game now for Anderson. Shakopee holding it on the far side boards. Marshall chip it down. Carlson gets a stick on it, holds it up, and Krisak able to wheel up the boards to Tocek, stuck in her feet again. Rampart comes out of there. She cuts inside, right down the slot. Wrister goes wide. Telejohn's going to get there. Her follow-up shot went just wide. Rampart tries to go cross ice, puck deflected. Carlson to Barrick, who goes back to Rampart, out by the blue line. Her shot deflected. It's going to kick out to Barrick. Tries the slap shot. Deflection and bouncing puck. Goalie did a good job keeping her eye on the puck there. Able to glove it and cover. We're down to 2:25 left. Shots up to 32-7. McNee, Huberty, Knutson, Smith, and Barrick in the game. Marshall wins the draw. Backhands around the net again. Shakopee, as they have been all night, first to the puck. McNee can't quite hold it in. Marshall able to break out, but the pass able to be controlled and corralled by Jetta Barrick. She'll skate around the backside of the ice, try to chip it out, held up by Marshall. Puck is going to exit the zone, just barely. They'll chip it deep. Smith will go back to collect it. She's got no pressure, and she's able to skate it out. She's going to skate through neutral zone, through center ice, into the offensive zone. She's on her backhand, tries to go spin back for a centering pass, but nobody was following. Got one Marshall Tiger and three Shakopee Sabers back there. Tiger hit the boards hard, but no call. Puck deflected wide. Shakopee able to come out of there. Knutson backhands it up the ice. Schuler holds it in. Now Huberty down the boards. Shakopee trying to change. The door was half open. Luth onto the ice. Chipped forward. We got 45 seconds left in the game. Krisak's going to go back to collect it. She'll go off the boards up to Luth. Controls the puck. Sticks it up the boards to McNee. Takes a wrister, that hard shot, but too much pace. It's going to go all the way around the boards to Schuler. Goes cross ice to Krisak. She's going to carry it in and then tries to chip it deep. Puck deflects and ends up going right to Rampart, who wheels and scores. That's going to be the end of the game before we get a face-off drop. That was Rampart. Puck dropped right at her feet, and she managed to bury it. That is number 9 for Shakopee. Ref's going to take his time getting set up for the face-off, and that's going to be the end. 9-0 win for the Sabers. That was a big one. We'll take it. They play tomorrow afternoon, I think, at 2:30 something-ish because they won. It's the later game on your schedules. So we will see you back here, I should say, tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.